What's up, guys? Steve V here with another video, and today's video is going to be fun. It's going to be something a little different, something I've never done before, and that is a countdown video. So what this countdown is going to consist of is what is my least played cab all the way up to what is my most played cab. So the reason I wanted to do this video is because I think anybody that collects ARCADE1UPs, we kind of have three different categories. And what those categories are the category of most played cabs that whenever you come down to your arcade, 9 times out of 10, there may be, 3 or 4 cabinets that you just automatically go to and you play. Could be just because you really like those games. It could be because you're working on high scores. Just for whatever reasons, those are the cabs that you go to the most. Then there's the middle category, which is your sometime cabs. So what I mean by that is you play them sometimes. Maybe a month goes by, you haven't played the game, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I haven't played that in a while. I'm going to give it a go. You give it a go that day, and then after that, you kind of get it out of your system, and you might not play it again for another month. Then there's the third category, which is I really like that cabinet, so I bought it, but since then, I have not touched it. And I would say the reason for that most of the time is because when you do have multiple ARCADE1UPs, sometimes you just have other games that catch your attention. And like I said, maybe there's a cabinet that you bought that it's not necessarily that you don't like it, because obviously you bought it, so you do like it, but those games just don't scream to you the same way the other games do. So it just ends up kind of being a cabinet that ends up being more a showpiece than anything. So, like I said, going to do a little bit of a countdown today. I have 13 ARCADE1UP products down here, 10 3/4 scale machines, 2 countercades, and a pinball. So I'll start at number 13, and number 13 is obviously going to be my least played cabinet, and then I'll work my way up from there. So number 13 for me is the Space Invaders countercade. Now, I love Space Invaders, great game. I love the look of the cabinet. I think it's beautiful, and I really wanted to have Space Invaders in my collection, but I just didn't have room for a 3/4 scale cab, so I picked this up. But since picking it up, I've probably played it maybe 3 times. And I think the reason for that is I'm starting to kind of realize that countercades are not really my thing. I think when you're surrounded by 3/4 scale machines, the countercades kind of get lost in the shuffle. But I'm definitely glad that I picked up this cabinet. And like I said, even though I only play it 3 times, I'm happy to have it in the collection. And that brings me to my number 12, which is also my other countercade, which is Centipede. Now, I love Centipede. Great game. I love playing it when I play it. But again, for some reason, I just don't come over to these countercades very often. So I've probably played Centipede 4 times. So that's why it's over Space Invaders. Space Invaders 3 times, Centipede 4 times. Just a great game. I like Missile Command 2. That's on this cabinet. I love the artwork. The Centipede artwork, for some reason, I just love. Just has a really retro look, and I love the white with the green and the red and a little bit of the yellow. Like, it's just something about it. Just I just love it. So again, really happy to have this game and this arcade machine in my collection. But like I said, I realized countercades aren't really my thing. Am I going to sell these countercades? Probably not. I definitely don't want to lose these games. And I like I said, I don't have room for 3/4 scale versions of them. But I think I'm just going to have to try to remind myself to come to these every now and then. Because like I said, they just don't tend to get my attention enough. And for that reason, that's why Space Invaders is 13 and Centipede is 12. So what my number 11 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Love both games. So much nostalgia for me. So happy I have this cabinet. I accidentally sold my first, well, I say accidentally because I realized it was a mistake after. I sold my first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cabinet, and then literally 2 weeks later, I rebought a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cabinet because I realized I messed up. I'm not letting this one go now unless they do 4-player Konami Legacy cab that has both Turtles games on it. But until that time, this one's not going anywhere. I learned my lesson. But yeah, 2 great games, but with the two beat 'em ups, after you kind of beat them both, you're going to tend to let some time pass before you play it again. So that's why I put it on my number 11. It's not that I don't like playing the games. I love playing both those games. But once you beat them, you let a couple months go by and then you come back to them. So definitely happy to have this part of my collection again. And it's not going anywhere. But that's why I put it on my number 11. Only play it every now and then. So my number 10 is Burger Time. So the reason Burger Time's at number 10 is because to me this is a one game cab. The other games on this cabinet are good, but I haven't perfected Karate Champ. I barely play Caveman Ninja, and Bad Dudes is okay. But Burger Time is the real seller for me. I love that game. Love the look of this cabinet. Love the shape of this cabinet. But because it is only one game that I play on this cabinet, once I kind of play that game and kind of get it out of my system, I may not play it again for a couple days or a week or so. And the other games don't really call to me. So because it is just Burger Time, that's why I put it at my number 10. Love the game. This cabinet's not going anywhere, but it's a one game cab. And for that reason, I put it on my number 10. So my number 9 is Frogger. So Frogger was a little higher for me, but the only reason it's at number 9 now is because I picked up a couple other cabs recently that have took my attention, and I tend to play those a little bit more now. So Frogger's gone down a little bit, where I used to play Frogger quite a bit, but I still love this cabinet. I was one of the guys where when people were kind of shitting on this cab a little bit because of the changes to the music and the change in the artwork, I was one of those guys that was like, you know what? Frogger is still an amazing game. It's still going to play the same. And I just couldn't imagine my arcade without a Frogger cab. So really happy I picked this up. I love the other two games too, Time Pilot and Time Pilot 84. Both great games. And Frogger, like I said, it's a game that I just knew I wanted to have. As soon as I saw the cabinet was being announced, and like I said, it did suck that they changed things, but I tried to kind of remind people like, hey, it's Frogger, like it's still amazing. And that's why I put it at my number 9, because it's still an amazing cabinet and I still play it quite a bit. But like I said, there's a couple cabinets I'm playing more now. So what my number 8 is Street Fighter 2, the Capcom Legacy cab. So this has 12 amazing games on it, as you can see. I really love playing the Street Fighter 2 games. I also love playing 1944. I love playing Final Fight. Final Fight's probably my favorite game on there. Ghouls and Ghosts always kicks my ass, but enjoy it too. Strider. Just a great cabinet. And so happy I picked it up. Some people, obviously had a problem with the height and the side panels kind of coming up and making the control deck a little tighter. I completely get people's problems with that. But for me, because I'm 5'8", the height doesn't really give me any issue. And the control panel doesn't really give me an issue either. So I really like the cabinet, and I'm glad I picked it up. And that's why I put it at my number 8. So my number 7 is the Midway Legacy cab, the Mortal Kombat 2 cab here. Love this cabinet. I love all 12 games. I love the 3 Mortal Kombat games, but I also love Rampage, as you can see. Gauntlet is my wife's favorite game to play, and I enjoy playing it too. I like playing Tubin. Paperboy's fun to play, even though you don't have the proper controls, but still cool having it on there. Just a lot of great games. Midway always nails it out of the park. And really happy having this cab, and that's why I put it at my number 7. So my number 6 is the Marvel vs. Capcom cab. And the reason I put this at my number 6 is because I, number 1, really enjoy playing it on Wi-Fi. I love playing against other people, even though I get my butt kicked. And I also enjoy playing against the computers too. I do a little bit better against the computer. But just a great cabinet. The only negative I would say is that one console game on there, Marvel Superheroes War of the Gem. But I get why they put it on there. I guess it's part of the storyline and kind of breaks the thing of, having 4 fighting games on there. You get one kind of, beat 'em up on there. But I hope they don't put any more console games on any more cabinets. I realize a lot of people don't mind having them on there, but it's not really for me. And, you know, I hope they don't do it again, but it is what it is. The other 4 games on there definitely make up for it, and the Wi-Fi is a big seller on this cabinet. And that's why I put it at my number... oh shit, I lost track. I think it was my number 6. So my number 5 is Golden Tee. So Golden Tee is a great cabinet. So glad I picked this up. The trackball really makes this cabinet fun because it's different than all the other cabinets that I have. The games are really fun to play, easy to play. I love coming down here with my friends or family and playing. I also like coming down here and playing it by myself sometimes. And definitely glad I picked up this cabinet. It wasn't a cabinet that I originally thought I wanted, but I'm glad I gave it a shot because since I bought it, it's definitely lived up to my expectations. And it's not a cab that I can see selling unless they do the release of it with a couple extra games and maybe a bowling game. Then I'll do a switch. But Golden Tee will always have a home in my arcade. So that was my number 5. My number 4 is Outrun. So the one thing I definitely knew I wanted to have was a driving cab, and Outrun is the first driving cab that they did, and it definitely it scratches that itch for now. I definitely look forward to seeing what other driving cabs they do in the future, and maybe there might be a switch up when they do a better kind of cleaned up version of a driving cab, you know, maybe with a better stool and stuff like that. Maybe some better games, but I enjoy Outrun, and I definitely wanted to have a driving cab, like I said, and I definitely try to get the most out of having it here, and I play it quite a bit, and when people come down, they play it quite a bit, so that's why it's at my number 4. It does really get a lot of play. So my number 3 most played cabinet is Miss Pac-Man. So Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man are my favorite arcade games, and I understand they're 2 different games, but I put them I put them as number 1 both. I can't decide which one is my favorite. They're both my favorite. So the reason I put this at number 3 is because this one only has 4 games on it, and Dig Dug, Galaxian, and Super Pac-Man, even though I love those games and did play them quite a bit on this cabinet, since I got my Bandai Namco Legacy cabinet, I play those games on there now. So literally this has kind of become a little bit of a 1-game cab as well. But I come down and play Miss Pac-Man every time I'm down here. So that's enough to put it on my number 3. I mean, this is usually the game that I start with every single time. And I just love the look of this cabinet. It's such beautiful artwork. And it makes it hard because they're coming out with that 12 game Miss Pac-Man and Galaga mix. And I want that cabinet because I love the game list, but I don't know if I can part with this cabinet just because of the artwork. So I might just have to wait till they do a Miss Pac-Man with this artwork with 12 games. But we'll see what happens. But that's why I put this at my number 3. I just love playing Miss Pac-Man, and I come down and play it every single time. So my number 2 is my Attack from Mars pinball. Love this machine. I know some people had some negatives with it, but honestly, I love it. I mostly play Attack from Mars, Medieval Madness, and Tales of Arabian Nights. Those are probably the 3 games I play the most, but I love all the other games too. I don't play Whitewater too often, but even when I have, I didn't really notice that problem until people pointed it out. Maybe it's because I'm a noob to virtual pinball, but I don't know, didn't catch my eye till they pointed it out. But I love this pinball machine. It's definitely one of my most played, and that's why I put it at number 2, because I play the crap out of this thing. My family and friends play the crap out of this thing. I mean, I have a cousin that literally, me and him go for a walk every Saturday because he lives close to me. After our walk, he wants to come in and play this all the time. I love it. And that's why I put it on my number 2. It's my second most played thing that I have down here, and the artwork is just beautiful. So obviously my number 1 is the Pac-Man Bandai Namco Legacy cabinet. Now, like I said, Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man are my favorite games. So, of course, I played the crap out of this one because it's got Pac-Man on it. But it also has 12 great Bandai Namco games. Galaga. I love Galaga. I play the crap out of Galaga as well. Galaxian, Dig Dug 2. I'm starting to actually like Dig Dug 2 a little bit. You got Mappy, you got Rompers, you got a bunch of other Pac-Man variants, like Pac-Man Plus is fun, Super Pac-Man's great, Pac and Pal. I'm not a big fan of Pac-Land, but still happy to have it on there. But yeah, this is my number one, the Bandai Namco 12-in-1 Pac-Man cabinet. Great looking cab, just beautiful looking. Unfortunately, the art's kind of blocked on the side there, but beautiful art too. And yeah, it's my number one. I hope you guys enjoyed this countdown. Like I said, it's something different, but I thought it would be fun to do it. And that is sorry, kind of slipping on my words here. That is the order of what cabs I play the most. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this countdown. And maybe I might do more of these countdowns if you guys enjoy them. And thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video that I do. Bye.